Hello and welcome. This is going to be a short introduction to how you use Task Force Radio in Arma 3. So, let's just start. First, you have to set a few buttons. You go into your options, controls, and then configure add-ons and select TFAR. In TFAR, you need four things at minimum. It's open short range radio and open long range radio. Just set the buttons you want, and then at the bottom, short range transmit and long range transmit, and that's basically it. The rest you can set as you want if you want to use it. Once in game, you open up your menu for the short range, and you'll have a certain amount of options. You'll move the mouse around, and everything that you can click on has a pop-up menu next to it. So in this case I cannot press 7 for anything, but I can press stereo. So let's start from bottom left and so on. The stereo setting basically means that you move the sound to where you want to hear it. So the left ear only, right ear only, or both. This is very useful if you have more than one radio. You can set one radio, for example long range, on left ear and short range on the right ear, so it's easy to tell which one is being used. The next one is set additional channel. As you can see, this is channel 1, C1. If you press the set additional channel, you change it to A1 and C1. This is basically that you can use two frequencies on one channel, one frequency on A1 and another one on C1. You can do that for the rest of the channels as well. The next one is speaker, and what does is to change between speakers and headphones. Headphones is that only you and your character can hear what's being said on the radio, and speaker means that people around you within a certain range can also hear you. This includes enemies. And then you have previous and next channel, which is like this. On some radios you can click the numbers to change the channel, but on this one you can't do that. You cannot use the numbers to set frequencies. So the next one is set frequency. In this case it's the enter key. Set frequency is what you press after you have manually input a new frequency in order to lock it in, and clear is clear screen. There are two ways of setting a manual frequency in Task Force. The first one is to press clear, and then with the numbers above WASD you press in the frequency you want. For example, 45, punctuation, 7, set frequency. You've now set the frequency for channel 1. To double confirm it, you can move to channel 2 and then back to channel 1, and you'll see that it is correct one. The second way you can change the channel is to hover your mouse over the numbers, left click and drag, and then punch in the frequency you want and press set frequency. You'll now see that you've changed both channels. That's it. You have a lot of different radios for all factions, and you also have additional long-range radios in some vehicles. You just step into the vehicle, open up the long-range menu, and you'll see you have the same thing. In this case you can press the channels to change the channels, and all the options is on certain other things. Change the channel, 67, punctuation 9, frequency is a set frequency here, and you're done. You go to, this is channel 5, go to channel 2 and back to 5. You see that the channels is set. Close it with escape. And the last thing is that when you press the button for frequency for transmitting, you'll see what radio you're talking on. This button is for the short range, this button is for the long range, and you have to pick up a long range first. and this button is for the long range. When you're carrying a long range, as well as being in a vehicle that has a radio, you enter the vehicle and press the button for open long range. Then you'll get the option of which one you want to use. So if you set it to the helicopter set as active, you'll now see that when you press the long range helicopter long range transmit button, you'll get the helicopter radio. You go back, you set your backpack as long range, you'll get the backpack long range when you press the transmit button. And that is how you use Task Force Radio. It's pretty straightforward, so good luck.